Welcome back to Dirtbag Baseball Talk, everybody. Great to have you with us, and as always, and got another great episode for you is coming up. Got a special guest with us, Canadian kid, not too far from our home base, but Ben Abrams, and right now he's down in Norman, Oklahoma. He's a Sooner, so pitching with the Sooners. So great to have you with us, Ben. Thanks for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, and a big shout out, big congratulations. You guys were down playing Baylor this past weekend, and were able to win 3 out of 4 going into this Wednesday. It looks like you're going to be starting your Big 12 championship.
Yeah, Big 12 start on Wednesday. We're excited. Got a big game against Oklahoma State, so we're looking forward to that game, and
yeah, for sure.
See what happens.
Yeah, kick it off. So, and that's really cool or whatever. And then obviously, if you're Oklahoma-based dirtbag out there, whatever, and that you probably know about the Bedlam games and the contests and stuff like that between Oklahoma State and University of Oklahoma. But share it for some of the dirtbags, like even myself or whatever. And I can fathom I've got that U.S. experience, but what is the Bedlam experience like?
Bedlam is it's a different experience than a lot of things baseball wise I've ever experienced in my life. I was lucky enough my freshman year, we played our Bedlam games in Oklahoma City and in Tulsa, and I'll tell you what, the atmosphere is crazy. Every time the stadium's packed and it's loud, there's it's so competitive, and each team just wants to kick the crap out of the other team. And it's funny too, because half the guys on our team know guys on Oklahoma State, like they grew up with them. Sure. But at the same time, that goes completely out the window when that game starts. They're just, everybody's ready to go, and it's that's the series you want to win. If you lost every other series but you beat Oklahoma State, that's the most important series of the year. So it's a huge game, great experience, great atmosphere.
For sure, I can only imagine that those old bragging rights, right, that they talk about.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, man. Those are priceless memories for you at the end of the day. During it, right now, at the age you are, you're a sophomore at Oklahoma, and but 15 years from now or whatever, the rest of your life, those will be funny memories that you'll have, awesome memories that you'll have. And it'll be really cool to be able to get with your old teammates and that as you start to get older and stuff, and just recall them. So I can only imagine the electricity, and to be able to get them in game 1 of the Big 12 championship. You got the night game, they set you up perfect or whatever. Hopefully the weather's good for you, and yeah, it's go time for sure. So
yeah, no, I can't wait.
I bet for sure. So your coaches got to be happy, Coach Johnson, and they got to be a little bit more relieved and put yourselves in a pretty good position going into it. And it looks like you two teams are pretty evenly matched up. You're about 1 game in the conference separating the two of you.
Yeah, no, we're it's going to be a good game. I think we've split the series, or they're 1 game up on us right now. So, it'd be good if we can go in there and get the win and even that up, or take the lead. I can't honestly remember what the thing is right now, but I think that last series against Baylor was big, to put us in a position to play Oklahoma State and have a chance to win the Big 12 championship. And it was nice too that we didn't have to be the 8th or 9th seed, because then we'd be playing on Tuesday, and then it just it's an extra game we gotta find pitching for. So we're all happy that we're in the place we are right now.
Yeah, I can imagine for sure. And especially in those double knockouts, it can happen quick. Boy, you get that first win, like you said, you kind of breathe, you start to, we're off to a good start. And it really is it changes the whole mindset for sure. When you got to come in through the losing bracket, that's tough. That's tough. You're facing some good teams in that Big 12, and but you're right. Fingers crossed that you'll get game 1 and you'll be able to rock and roll with it and get those good vibes, as they always say. So, but how's your season been going for you personally, Ben? If you can share some of your experience.
You know what? It hasn't been the greatest season for me. I kind of struggled early trying to be something that I'm not, and that kind of hurt me in the long run. I think recently has been a lot better. Just started getting back to what I'm good at, throwing 4 or 5 pitches for strikes in any count. And as soon as I kind of got back to what I know I'm good at is when things started to get a lot better for me. Obviously didn't throw as many innings as I'd like to this year, but you know what? There's always next year, and we still got season left. So
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
too worried about it. I'm just doing what I can to help the team win.
Yeah, and then, you know what? I'm super impressed that a kid of your age would step up and be honest about that, because that's a tough thing. You're what, about 22 right now, and
Yeah.
yeah, so those are tough things in that, and for you to be able to talk like that, that just shows your maturity and stuff like that, and all that word, the process, as we always talk about,
Yeah.
right? And your development stuff like that. So you know what, that's super impressive to hear you say that, Ben, and be able to talk with that, but understand it. And you're right. I mean, it's not fun to have to go through that learning curve, is it? When
Nope.
you're out there on the bump, it's like you heard it when you were a kid, but until you struggle, like anything in life, you really don't know that you're on an island by yourself out there.
No, 100%. The mound is the loneliest place on earth when you're not doing so good. So it's definitely a big learning experience. But you know what? I think from any learning experience, you come out stronger and wiser on the other side. So I think not having the year that I wanted to have is just going to make me better in the long run. So I think it's probably a good thing at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So, and for sure, all you dirtbags out there that are listening, whether you're a player, young player coming through the pipe, and or a parent, or a coach of amateur players and stuff like that, just take some time to really think about what Ben said right there. We all go through it. We all go through it in that, but it's not the end of the world. It feels like the end of the world at that time, because like you said, especially on the pitching mound, it's a lonely spot when things aren't working for you and your head's just racing, and you know what you're supposed to do, but you can't get there. But just understand that out there, dirtbags, that you know what, it really is. It's a journey. It's a journey, and take each day as they come. And you know, at the end of the day, be able to love the fact that we get to play baseball. We're healthy enough. We live in a part of the world that we don't have wars going on, thank God, or any such stuff like that. We get to go out and play a game that we all love from the day we're born. So continue to love it. And again, Ben, that's great that you would say that and step up to the plate for sure, because exactly right. You're only going to be better moving forward. And I know the one time we talked off air that you were maybe hoping for some summer ball this year. You were kind of undecided whether you were going to come back to Canada and play, or stay, maybe go down to the Cape Cod. Any progression on that development?
I haven't heard anything yet. I mean, coach's focus is elsewhere right now,
Sure.
so that's where it should be. So we'll see what they say at the end of the season. But either way, I'm not too worried about it. Even if it's taking the summer off and just working out, I'm fine with that too. So whatever they decide is going to be the best for me is fine with me.
Yeah, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Get a really good recovery, right? Take a
Yeah,
breath away, because you're right. Even though we're in this crazy, at the back end of this crazy COVID, each series that you're in is intensive when you're at the collegiate level, and you didn't get your 60 plus games in like you normally would and stuff like that in the spring schedule. But what you probably got around 30. I'm just kind of looking it up here real quick. Well, you got darn close. You're
Oh, we got a
27,
full season.
26. So yeah, you got 53 games and in a condensed time. So
Yeah.
you ran the hammer, as they say.
Yeah, no, we played the full season. Everything we expected to play, we did. So yeah, I mean it was great. I'm glad we actually got the full season in after the short one last year. So
Yeah. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure,
no,
for sure. So let's take us back a while on that. So as we said, Dirtbags, Ben's from an area not too far from where we are, actually, in that place called Georgetown, Ontario. What is Georgetown? I guess is probably around 10, 12,000 people right now. Ben, and not a big place by any means, just
something.
outside of Toronto.
Yeah, I think the Halton Hills region has like 40 something in it. So I'm not entirely sure what Georgetown is, but I could see 10 to 12, probably something like
Yeah.
that.
Yep, for sure. So, did you ever fathom, like, you always dream about it as a young ball player and stuff like that, but did you ever really fathom of going from a small little Canadian town, really a rural town, even though it's outside of Toronto, and ended up in a place like Norman, Oklahoma?
You know what? No. it's it's not something that you really realize until it's happening. I spent years of my life wanting to be a pro athlete, find a way to get to the States. At first it was hockey. Then, as soon as, I started playing baseball, I was like, no, no, this is for me. But yeah, no, it's cool, like you come from a small town, baseball's not overly big there,
Yeah.
and just grew to love it. And then as soon as I really realized how much I loved it, I'm like, you know what, I want to be the guy to come from Georgetown and find a way to play Division 1 baseball, and hopefully pro ball later down the line. And it was something to say it at first, but it wasn't until my first couple years of high school where I was like, oh no, this is real. I can do this, and that's when things started opening up for me. But at first you really don't believe it, but once things start happening and it becomes real, it's quite the experience.
Yeah, there's no question about it for sure. And we always talk about having a really good network here at Dirtbag Baseball Nation, Ben. And who I know some of the people that were in your network and that, but I don't know everybody and stuff like that. But who really, help put pictures to visions to the dream being real and stuff like that? Is there some people that really stand out to you?
Well, I would say probably my very first Eagles, like Georgetown Eagles coach, was probably the first person to tell me that, I actually had a shot to do something. And, that was when I was like 9 or 10. So at first I was like, oh, that's cool. It is what it is. But that's probably where it started. But then as soon as I joined the Terriers, the Ontario Terriers organization, it was, from then it was like, no, like you've got the tools, you've got what you need. We'll find a way to get you exposed to people, and kind of just build your stock. And then obviously, develop me to the player I am today. And then after that, it was making the junior national team. And pretty much as soon as that happened, that's when everything really opens up for you, like playing with them, you're getting seen by every pro team, hundreds of universities in the States, junior colleges up to, Power 5 Division 1s. And, having those people in my life that were a part of those organizations, it's invaluable. I wish that every kid in Canada can do that. I mean, it's tough because, it's only one team, but that's what really put me in that position. And, I'm still in contact with all those people today. So
Yeah. Yeah, and that's fantastic. And that's right. Greg Hamilton, our Canadian national director and stuff like that, baseball, fantastic guy, built a tremendous reputation and a program. But it comes along with all yourselves and all the other great players that have been before you and all the ones that'll come after you as well.
yeah,
And Greg runs it as a serious business, as he should, because he's trying to set the table for you kids and stuff. And back to your Ontario Terriers, Rick Johnson, another well-known Canadian, well, North American name really in that.
yeah,
And the whole Terriers family and stuff like that. Very class people, and
absolutely.
just professional all the way and stuff. And the reason I bring it up is because I think whether you're in Canada or the US, Ben, something that really gets missed with this is, and you've been a part of that travel world and stuff like that. Obviously, the true depth of talent really isn't there, and that's not being mean or negative, but it really isn't. We're especially in Canada, right? We're 35 million people or whatever, and the real overall depth isn't there. But at the end of the day, I ask you, because I always say that with young aspiring players coming through, and especially their parents, you can go to any one of these great programs. And they do have the knowledge to put you in a place where Oklahoma, let's say, a national team, a major league team, who knows what. And I think most of the kids, and you'll have played with some of the kids too as well, they think that's all it takes. but that's not what it is. It comes down to you as an individual to have that motivation. Rick Johnson can make you a pro guy. I would think you would agree with that.
100%.
Greg Hamilton, right? Same thing. Ourselves, whatever it is, we have the tools and the knowledge. But if
Yeah.
you don't have that motivation and desire, you can't get there, can you?
No. The way I like to think about it, that, and I had this told to me several years ago, is that, if a college in the States is going to offer you, that means they can't find anything better where they are. And that's saying a lot. That means that they're willing to spend money on you, and, being an international student, that's more expensive for them,
Yeah.
because that means you are more than good enough to compete with the people in their area. Like, I'll use Oklahoma for example. That means that I had to be better or have more potential than kids from Oklahoma, Texas, which are huge baseball playing states.
Yep.
So for kids, in Canada that want to get recruited to play, let's just say in a Power Five Division One, like, you have to put yourself in a position where you are more valuable than a kid that's close by.
Yeah.
They have to see something in you that is better or see more potential than a kid that's on their front door, pretty much.
Yeah, 100%, buddy. 100%, because and that's really important that you hear what Ben's saying there as well, Dirtbags, because I don't care whether you're in Canada or the US, and that it's all relevant at the end of the day. If they're going out of their territory, you're right, that means you're better than what they can find in-house, so to speak. But in order to be better, you just can't pay for these programs, these travel programs, and then poof, it's there, it's happening. You just go to Perfect Game, or you go to any of the big showcases or whatever, and it's there. The potential's there. Like Ben said, you're going to get seen. They're
Mhm.
all there. All the recruiters and all the pro scouts are there, but that doesn't mean diddly squat. You got to be able to do something better, different, baseball related and characteristics related than the people standing beside you. And so, these are great stories when we get to do them with a Ben, because he's at the pinnacle of the collegiate level, if you will, Ben, and stuff like that. But you worked for it. You worked really hard for that as
Absolutely.
well. So another thing I want to touch on, because I know it was really big to you and important to you, and it is as well as us. So that's on the player end, Dirtbags. But now the parents, where do you fit in as parents? How were your parents, Ben? Maybe some of the advice you have from your parents or whatever, and how they let you learn to grow and fail and succeed and be day to day or whatever, and that hopefully one person out there will hear it and will make a difference.
I think my parents really did it the right way, with all this. They were extremely supportive, but they were also very honest. Day one, when I started talking to like colleges and scouts and everything, they were honestly like, you know what, like, you're gonna need this kind of scholarship if you want to go and play in the States, because quite honestly, like, anything else is just not going to put us in a good position. It's not going to put you in a good position. And then they were honest. They're like, if the only option you're going to have is a junior college, we don't really want you to do that, because we don't see you, you know, gaining much from that. So, like I said, super honest up front, but then incredibly supportive. Anything I wanted to do, they were backing me up 100% as much as they could. And they really, I think they took the right approach too when they're at the ballpark. So, some parents will be there yelling at their kids, screaming, blah, 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 do this, do that. My parents, anytime they saw even one scout in the stands, they go as far away from that as possible. What they would do is that, or at least anytime they're able to come watch a game in Oklahoma, we got scouts behind the plate, so they make sure if they're going to sit anywhere, it is on the far side of one dugout or the other. Usually our dugout, because the other team's on the other side.
Sure.
But and they're not trying to get me drafted by talking to a scout, because they realize that's not gonna do anything, and quite honestly, that's just gonna annoy people. So I think them doing that is honestly huge, and I think if every parent can just refrain from trying to get their kid, recruited or drafted or whatever, just by talking to scouts or recruiters, I'm telling you right now, it don't work, and they don't want any part of that either.
Yeah.
You know, if they want to talk to you, they'll come up to you. That's that's 100% how it is, and that's even how it is with players. You know, if a scout or a recruiter wants to talk to you, they'll find a way.
Yeah. Yeah. And that doesn't mean they're not paying attention to you as parents. So just understand that we've had
Mm.
different coaches on, and and you've heard that dirtbags for sure. So just be aware of it. But there's right from Ben's mouth, right there, right. He sees it every day, whether it's himself or whether it's his teammates right now that are, juniors or seniors looking at this year's draft, next year's draft, how it works. How again, that's it's all part of the journey and the growth of it all, right? Those good college recruiters and those pro scouts, they pay attention. They know who you are as a parent. You don't need to go to them. They already know everything about you.
They
So,
already know.
yeah.
We don't know how they know, but they know.
Well, that's their job. That's their job for sure, right? And so that's all good. So you talked about hockey as a young lad or whatever, and of course a Canadian, so hockey's got to be part of the fabric and stuff like that.
Really.
You're in Norman, Oklahoma. Do you know how the Leafs are doing?
I'm aware they're in the playoffs.
Okay, they're 1-1. They lost game one. They beat the Habs Canadians last night handedly. They actually took it to them pretty good. They won 5-1 or whatever. But we did
Okay.
lose Johnny Tavares.
Yes, I
He
did
had
hear about that. That's pretty much all I've heard, but I
a,
don't watch a lot of hockey anymore. So,
no, so I thought I'd update you anyways. Or whatever. It's
well, I
playoff
appreciate
time,
it. Thank you.
That's right. So that's good for sure, for sure. So, but buddy, we're not going to hold you up much longer, whatever. And now you got a bit of an off day now. It's well deserved and stuff like that. And I know tomorrow it's time to ramp it up, fire the
Let's
engine,
do
and
it.
get ready for
Let's do
Wednesday
it.
nights. So we can't thank you enough for being on, Ben. And we wish you nothing but the best of luck in the Bedlam game and the whole Big 12 conference and stuff like that.
Appreciate
Go
it.
get
Thank
it
you.
done, and we'll catch up for sure. So, is there a place where the Dirtbags could find you if they wanted to on social media at all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Instagram. It's at Ben Abram _8, something like that. So
Yep.
if you feel like give me a follow, I'll try to give you a follow back if I can. But yeah, I don't really use much else. So
No, and you won't have much time right now or whatever. That
honestly, yeah,
so if you do follow Ben or whatever, and he doesn't get right back to you this week or whatever, or the next 2-3 weeks, hopefully month, hopefully
yes,
month,
yes, I
and
will do my best. I promise.
yeah, hey, the Sooners are winning, so that's a good thing. That's a good
Yes,
thing. So stay
absolutely.
with it. But you know what, buddy, I can't thank you enough for coming on. Like I said, and wish you nothing but luck, and keep that mind in the right place. Like you said early on in this show, you've got things figured out. Trust it, brother. Just trust it, man. That's what it's all about. And go out there and live for today, because you never know, right? And you're
Absolutely.
starting to learn there might not be a tomorrow. So what the hell? You might as well leave her all on the field, right?
100%. Yeah. Well,
All
thank
right,
you
buddy.
very much
That
for
sounds
having me.
no, it was great. Great having you. So, all right, dirtbags. Until the next time when we're back or whatever, and that, you can get our swag apparel if you want. Dirtbagbaseballnation.com. If you want the rope trainer for throwing aids and or the Diamond Kinetics products, the pitch tracker, the swing tracker, they're all there and available for you, as well as the Truletic protective batting gloves. So we don't take anything, as you know. We don't just do it. We don't just sell it. We don't just promote it. If it's not a game changer or whatever, and that, we don't want to have any part of it, because your future, your career is everything to us. And as we always say, hey, we can't do it without you, and we do it 100% for you. So until the next one, hey, get out there, get up, get after it, and get dirty.